And hello, welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Darren Hyman. Today, we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough and New York City. Coming up, a new AI tool is helping teachers across the city better understand student engagement as well as classroom dynamics. We'll break down the project and how it's helping educators strengthen their lessons as well as connect with students. And next, one school is helping aspiring artists turn their creativity into opportunity. From developing strong portfolios to learning how to navigate the art of the world, we'll take a look at how emerging talent is being prepared for the next step. And then we spotlight a Bronx Center that's dedicated to helping small business succeed by offering guidance, training, and some tools for entrepreneurs looking to start or grow. And so, guess what? They've got some resources, and we'll take a look at some support and resources they have available. And then lastly, New York City's vibrant Latinx theater scene is taking center stage with a citywide festival celebrating powerful storytelling, cultural identity, and artistic collaboration. We'll learn how local theater companies are coming together to amplify Latino voices across the 5 boroughs. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. Hello, everyone. I am Darren Hyman. You are now watching Open, a live program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. Now you can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at Bronxnet TV. Some things have been going on through the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. And we kick off our show on the local front. The World Press Photo Exhibition is back in New York City for the first time in over a decade, bringing unfiltered photojournalism to the public. Now the exhibition captures history from migration and climate change to the aftermath of the war. Our Bronxnet reporter, Chris Camilla, has a story.
A world-renowned photo exhibition is back in New York City for the first time in over a decade.
It's hard for people sometimes to understand the news if they can't see it.
And it's bringing forward dozens of pieces featuring authentic, compelling global photojournalism. You have to see to believe. In a larger effort to search for genuine pieces of modern history in the making.
It is capturing what's happened around the war, what happened around us, and photojournalists cover the places and people where not everybody can.
That search spanning across the globe on a worldwide level to bring in photodocumentarians across 6 global regions, sharing stories of their home conditions and current events through unfiltered lenses.
I think people need to see what's really happening in the world in a way that all these photos are verified, they're all checked. None of them are altered in any way. There's no AI. It's all, as things really happen.
It is really important to show people what's happening out there in the world, and for people in the photos to be able to open up and show what's happening so people can understand.
Today's photo exhibition documents critical issues shaping the world today, ranging from migration, climate change in effect, and the aftermath of war. The work demonstrates the essential role of visual journalism, particularly at a time when photo manipulation is an increasingly prevalent threat to integral documentation of what's happening around the world.
Oftentimes people are uncertain if what they're seeing is true because of AI, because of manipulation. I think honest photojournalism with photos that have been verified as being true really opens people's eyes to the world.
Independent, high-quality photography, according to event organizers, is inspiring action and deepening understanding among people in the Bronx and those around the world who are fortunate enough to view the world through unfiltered lenses.
Hopefully, it inspires change. So that is really what we hope to achieve here.
On East 151st Street, Chris Cumella, Bronxnet Community Television.
And thank you, Chris. That's all the time we have for our Bronx updates, but stay with us. We are taking a quick break, but guess what? We've got more open when we return.
There's a new channel to explore, and it's bringing the classics back to life. During the day, relive the Bronxnet originals that sparked conversations and built community. At night, dive into the hip-hop throwbacks that defined a generation. One destination, two powerful lineups. Now playing on Optimum Channel 952, Fios 2138, and streaming at bronxnet.tv. BX Legacy, where history meets the moment.
And we are back. Project Cafe is a new AI-powered tool that helps teachers see what's really working for students in the classroom. By pairing this data with professional coaching, educators can focus on the strategies that truly make a difference. Now, in partnership with Teach for America, New York, this initiative is helping teachers improve engagement and make every lesson count. And joining us to discuss this groundbreaking project are Urban Assembly CEO David Adams, and from Teach for America New York Executive Director Tia Morris. Then we got the Managing Director of Leadership Development, Alex Amaya. And thank you so much for coming and being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Great. So this is an awesome partnership, and really you talking about AI and being at the forefront and bringing AI to the classroom. First of all, let's talk about just AI in the classroom. Some people shun it, but here it is. You know, there's good reason to have it. And so talk a little bit about the program.
Well, the Project Cafe actually stands for the Classroom Automated Feedback Environment. And so here at the Urban Assembly, we think about solving problems and scaling solutions. And one of the problems that we identified across our 22 schools here in New York City was that teachers deserve more high-quality instructional feedback. But it's too expensive. And so we sat with this problem and thought to ourselves, how do we solve for getting teachers more feedback more frequently, given its cost? And that's where we started to think about AI and partners like Teach for America, who could help us use AI to get teachers the feedback that they deserve, so students get the best teachers in front of the classroom when they walk into that classroom every single day.
So you have this partnership with Teach for America. So how did this partnership actually come about?
So Teach for America is a nonprofit that believes that every child should have access to an excellent education. We've been working in New York City for 35 years, placing teachers, and Urban Assembly is one of our partners. Alex is one of our coaches because we help develop our new teachers, and we realized that we needed some tools to help make that work much more efficient and to ensure that our teachers can get the support and development that they need at the frequency that would help them grow most.
Right. So for teachers who receive this AI assistance, how does it help them, particularly in the classroom?
When I was in the class, I was great at asking my students guided questions, leading them to the answer that I wanted them to have, because I wanted to keep the class moving forward. Just because I wanted to get done with my lesson, and I thought that was a measure of my success. That was a pattern that I had to break, and I did not know how to break it until the end of my first year. With this tool, they're able to recognize how many open-ended questions they're asking versus how many closed-ended questions. We can open up those questions and talk about like, oh, these are guided questions, or in this question, you're actually trying to analyze what students are understanding from your lessons. It gives us patterns that we can then talk about and address as an educator and a coach. So it's been very beneficial that way.
And how have you seen the success roll out amongst teachers? Because obviously there's a lot of aversion sometimes to really making that transition, right? I think there's some people who say, listen, you know what, I've done this way, and now we got AI, I don't know, you know, but how's that transition been?
Do you want to speak to that, Alex?
Yeah. I mean, AI is a big term that has a lot of different definitions and ways that we can think about it. And so there is an initial apprehension when talking about this tool and about its rollout within our schools and our partnerships. But Tia has said that we can do our work with our partnerships. And I think we've done an exceptional job developing partnerships centered in trust and communication. So when I started talking to my schools about it, it was an open conversation. They were open to the idea because we've had this relationship, we've worked before closely for many years, that I now am bringing a tool that would help our core members, and this is how. And we keep the dialogues open for them to also let us know, yes, we want more of this, or we want to do it this other way. And so that initial partnership of trust is what has allowed us to engage in these open conversations about AI.
I think that really exemplifies our design principles at the Urban Assembly is how do we use AI to support human interactions?
Right.
Alex talked about trust, right? So you have coaches, you have teachers in conversation with each other using a tool to automate the observation process, but not to automate that feedback set. So the teacher is not sitting around with the computer screen by herself or himself. They're working with an external person, a coach, who's helping them reflect on what's happening in that classroom. So human-centered, AI-powered.
Yeah. And for yourself, obviously, this is a new initiative, and so to see it being rolled out, what are some of the challenges that we're seeing? Are there any challenges that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think you talked a little bit about it. There are folks who are apprehensive of the use of AI. There are folks who think that we're using AI to judge them, to tell them how well they're teaching. But as Alex talked about, the goal is to help teachers reflect. He gave us a story where he said, I had a pattern. I used a certain kind of questioning, but I didn't have the feedback until about a year to help me break that pattern. Our goal is to elevate these patterns for our teachers and help them think about what they're trying to do, what they're actually doing, and then have some instructional coaching. Other teachers come in and say, let's refine what you're doing in the classroom so students can get what they deserve.
Right.
And I think that's where the magic is. The magic is in that this is a tool that allows teaching to be more sustainable and allows coaching to be more sustainable. And so what we're really thinking about is how do we ensure that young people have the educators that they need, and how do we ensure that educators have the tools that they need to maximize their impact?
And so when we talk about students being the beneficiaries of this, and also teachers being the beneficiaries of this, what do you feel are the long-term gains that come out of something like Project Cafe?
Well, I'll speak a little bit about what we hope. We've been doing this about a year, and we're looking at 4 big ideas. One is teacher efficacy, which is, do teachers feel confident that they can do what they need to do in the classroom? The second is teacher effectiveness. Are teachers getting better at their job? The third is student learning. Are students learning faster than they would have if they didn't have the tool? And then the last is how well teachers are actually staying in the classroom, teacher retention. Are teachers in the classroom longer because they're getting some of that feedback that they need to make them feel powerful, to make them feel like this is the job for me, and I can get better over time.
Yeah, yeah. And so from here, where do you go?
So one of my bigger campuses in the Bronx, I went out there, bought my educators breakfast, and David's team did a great job giving us context to give them context. And then we just jumped right in. We tried the tool, and then we've been debriefing about it. We've been engaging in the findings together. And as I go back to do my regular visits, we're going to continue using the tool. The hope is to take off the training wheels little by little, for them to feel the confidence and autonomy to be like, you know what, I'm struggling with this lesson. I'm going to record myself really quickly, get some metrics, send them to Alex, and we can have that conversation ahead of time. So we're getting there step by step. So that is where I hope to take my campuses moving forward. But anything else?
And I would say my dream and goal is that every single Teach for America teacher, we have nearly 500 new teachers, would have access to a tool like this that can help them improve their practice faster. Our children are going to enter into a world, a workforce, a career force that's tech and AI driven. I want to ensure that the teachers who are teaching them understand how to leverage AI and tech tools, and that our students have access to them as well.
See, I think you talked about something, because what I was going to say is, you know, you got students who are using AI, right?
Yeah.
We're not saying cheating, we're just saying they're using it, right? They're very familiar with it. And then we know how adults are. We know how we can be resistant to making change, and it's often said one of the biggest places where there's resistance to change is sometimes higher education. And so for students who are really making the jump to this, to have teachers be able to make the jump to this, kind of like levels the playing field, if you will, in terms of education, don't you think?
Well, 100%. we see at Teach for America, we see technology and AI as a lever for equity. We know that in certain communities across the country, across our city, they typically don't have access to some of the same resources that more affluent communities have. We know that this is an opportunity to ensure that our young people can compete, that they're entering the workforce not only aware of the tools, not only consumers, but they are creators. And so it begins with ensuring and equipping our teachers with the skills, the tools, and the experience.
Yeah.
And Darren, I'm just living my best life. You asked me what my vision is. I get to work with folks like Tia and Alex. I get to work with Teach for America. I get to help co-create a vision for teaching that's sustainable. And that's the vision that I have for the work moving forward. Every teacher has an opportunity to get the feedback they deserve. Every student has an opportunity to have a great teacher in front of them. Our communities will benefit from that. Our society will benefit from that. And I get to work with these fine people right here.
Yeah. So, Little Birdie told me that Teach for America is celebrating 35 years.
We are.
Yeah. So, what does that mean? Significant milestone.
100%. It's a big deal. I became a core member during the 25-year anniversary. So now getting to live the 35-year anniversary as a staff member, full circle moment for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Teach for America has a 35-year legacy of leadership. I was a core member, which we call our new teachers, right here in Harlem in 1998. So not quite the beginning, but up there.
Right.
And so I've seen us evolve. It's really exciting to see the impact, and I look forward to seeing what we do for 35 more years and beyond here in the city.
And we talked about Teach for America. I want to get Urban Assembly in before we get out of here.
Yeah.
You talk to us a little bit about some of the other stuff that you're doing that really people can be aware of.
Well, we are focusing on solving problems and scaling solutions. So our focus is on social and emotional learning. Our focus is on post-secondary readiness, which is what students do after they leave high school. And our focus is on instructional quality. So on the post-secondary readiness, we have a tool called Counselor GPT. Young people can get labor market statistics, connecting their degrees to those labor market statistics so they don't have to guess. They can be guided into what credential will lead them to economic mobility. We already talked about Project Cafe, and our social emotional learning work is designed so that schools can equip young people to make the best decisions for themselves, solve problems interpersonally, intrapersonally, and support our communities.
All right. Well, it's been great having you guys. Come back and give us an update. And ladies, I should say guys, ladies. But please come back and give us an update. Let us know how things are going.
Thanks for
having us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Great work. So listen, now if you want more information, go ahead and visit the websites at urbanassembly.org. And then also you got teachforamerica.org/New York. Don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. %5 of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. %34 of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. Bronxnet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the Bronxnet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit bronxnet.org to learn more.
And welcome back. Art can be a powerful tool for expression, opportunity, and even healing. The PW School of Art is working to support artists, especially those from underserved communities, by providing mentorship, resources, and guidance, helping to transform creativity into sustainable job careers. And we ask you now to, joining us to share more about the mission and the work behind the school, we've got the creative director of PW School of Art, Manny Claudio, along with alumnus Walter Nance, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So when I hear the PW School of Art, I hear school, I hear art. but I know there's a whole lot more to it. So for somebody who doesn't know, bring us behind the doors.
So with the PW School of Art, like you said before, we like to focus our attention on underserved communities in the Bronx. We're looking for people who just want to express themselves in an artistic way and kind of like build their creativity, and also focus on maybe selling their art and putting their art out there into the world. So those are things that we like to kind of like hone in on, and help them realize those passions about being creative and being in the art world.
Right. For me, it brought out something that has been buried for years. Painting and drawing, and it's just helped me to like even cope with a day or an evening that has been not a good day or a good evening. So it's been beneficial that way for me.
Right. So as we think about art in general, it's therapeutic, it's healing. Yeah. There's a whole lot that comes with it. So people who come behind the doors and work in the school, talk to us a little bit about what they experience inside that classroom.
So some things that they might experience are we'll teach them about some art history, basics about the like art principles. We'll go over things like color theory. They get to draw, they get to sketch. They also get to paint as well, and learn about different art styles, as well as just being a part of like a creative environment and nurturing and a creative environment as well.
You say believing in oneself also. That's what Miguel mentioned to me when I started going there. You are an artist. I would look at my own art until someone else is telling me it's reputable, I guess. I don't know.
Right, right. So what drew you in?
A friend actually who is familiar, Bradley, familiar with the school. He was affiliated with the school actually at one time. Came into my apartment and looked at the walls and he said, "Do you like art?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Well, who did these things?" I said, "I did it." So it made me feel good, and I laugh when people look at it, and they laugh when because I'm not consistent with my art at all.
Right.
It goes from like crazy comics to serious stuff, to some bizarre.
Yeah.
But that's art.
But there's also like this transition, if you will, into like creativity towards real life situation, towards
Yes.
So for you, I'll start here and then come back. Talk to us a little bit about how you are assisting students to really make that transition from taking that creative lens and really applying it to what's happening in the world today with real life.
Yeah, so throughout the course of the classes that we have, we help them build a portfolio, and that portfolio is basically going to be like their resume out into the world that they can apply, to different situations, and we let them know about like different things like how to build a website, how to brand themselves as an artist, and how to get like kind of just basically get themselves out there. The first like initial steps.
Yeah. And so, as I think about you've had a journey, right? That's really taken you. What has this journey been like? Because you're an alumnus now, right? And you went through this. What has the journey been for you?
It gives you a level of confidence in yourself, actually, which there are times where myself can be pretty low. But then when I look at the things that I've created, and know they'll be here way after I'm gone. Some of my legacy, actually. So it's pretty much has been beneficial that way for me.
Right. I want to give a shout out to Miguel Alvarez, who is also the founder. He's the founder of the headmaster. He happens to be in studio with us, and he's pretty proud of the work that you're doing. Yeah. And 3 years.
Yes.
This school's been going on.
Yeah, just about 10 days from now, we'll be turning 3 years old. It's been a great journey so far. We've learned so much about our students, about ourselves, about how to run this whole organization, really.
Yeah.
It's been quite the undertaking, but it's been very enriching and very, a lot of fun.
So how do you guys approach when it comes to like, accessibility and equity and things such of that nature? I know there's an approach there.
Yeah, I would say that like basically, PW School of Art stands for Poseidon's Wave, and that is the name of our collective. So by having this art collective, we are able to kind of like bring in other people, artists throughout the community, and kind of like band together and be able to kind of like have that equity and have the people put out their art and have people buy the art as well. And it's a way for them to kind of like make a living, and make some money as well, as well as just being able to have that creative outlet.
Yeah. What does it mean to see your art on display?
Proud, knowing I'm accomplishing something.
Because there was a doubt that like you just.
There still is basically. Actually,
Okay.
it still comes.
Right.
But then again, someone sees my whatever I've done, even the most minute sketch.
Right.
They wind up loving it. So it makes you feel like I am accomplishing something.
Yeah.
And there's more to come too. So.
That's what's up. So now, if somebody's out there and they have this artistic talent and they say, "Listen, you know what? I want to find a place to kind of like hone my craft and learn a little bit more." What do you tell them?
If they want to find a place, I mean, I would tell them to come.
I'm throwing the ball to you. That's called alley-oop. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you can always visit us at we're artbegins.org. And check out our page and learn about some of the things that we offer. Find out about when our classes are held, and where we hold the classes as well. But then I would just also tell them to come and visit us at the at the Bronx Health Action Center at 1826 Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. We hold classes there, and we're open for whoever wants to come.
Yeah. I know a big part about being an artist, and I've interviewed so many. There's always a talk about collaboration, and how collaboration really just does something. What has collaboration meant for you?
Well, just seeing other people's work or working with them has brought to my attention when something can be like stopped. I have a hard time sometimes stopping. I think it needs to be done. I'll show it to somebody. They're like, or work with David. I was working with David.
Yeah, I think it's good to have like a second pair of eyes sort of thing. Have like that sounding board and knowing when to like edit yourself or when you've gone too far sort of thing.
Right.
Exactly.
I think that just like
so because there's times you could overdo it.
Exactly. Even if the character has one arm, it's done. You know? So it could be many things.
Right. What's been your biggest learning experience?
That not everyone, or shall I say every artist, knows how to do everything. I've definitely learned from the school.
Right. So for students who come in, and I'm coming through your doors, and I say, well, what can I expect by the time I walk out? What would you tell them?
I would say they would expect to have like a portfolio, basically. They'll have, artists. They'll have like a number of paintings that are done and available to be, sold and marketed out to the world. They'll have a better understanding of art principles, and they'll just have some more confidence as well, I think, as an artist to go out and do those things.
Yeah. So what has art meant for you?
For me, art has been, it's just been a way to kind of like express myself in general, but it's definitely been a form of therapy for me. I really started like delving into art like once the pandemic came because, everybody was just stuck inside and, everyone was trying to figure out what's my power, what's my special like thing that I can do to kind of like make, something, like a living or whatever the case is. So for me, it's kind of been a survival, tool for survival, in a way.
Right. And for yourself?
Therapy. I would definitely say therapy. I'll get up in the middle of the night sometimes and just like start.
Right.
Even if it's just a trace of some sort. It doesn't have to be anything, major or like involved. But definitely therapy.
Yeah.
And I think, like, speaking about the therapy part, like, one of our goals with the school is to focus on people who have either like a neurodivergent, style of thinking, or people who just suffer with like some kind of mental instability or mental health instability, because we wanted, like, those people, they're talented too, they're artists too, excuse me, and we want to kind of like elevate those voices. So we definitely want to focus in on those individuals as well.
Also, when you sell your first painting, that is like, or a sketch that you're sitting in front of the TV and just sketching, and someone sees it in your apartment, and they ask me, who is this? I'm like, I said, I don't know, it was a sketch on cardboard. You wind up selling it. That really takes your confidence level, and it can boost it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I mean, you're
Thank
both
you.
doing great work. I know that Miguel is proud of you. We're proud of him
Thank
as well.
you.
3 years. 3 years next week, and more to come. And
Yeah.
so keep up the great work, and
Appreciate it.
Let the art come forward.
Yes,
Definitely.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Listen, now, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at whereartbegins.org. Again, special shout out to Miguel Alvarez, who's the founder and headmaster of the PW School of Art. So guess what? We got more open coming up right after the break, so that means you can't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
We are the Eco Leaders. We learned that everything starts with ourselves. Then we have to educate ourselves. Then we have to build community and use our imagination.
.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city, and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak, and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
And we are back. Small businesses play a vital role in driving local economies and creating opportunities in communities across New York. But for many entrepreneurs, navigating the process or even starting or expanding a business, it can feel overwhelming. The Bronx Small Business Development Center, it works to change that by doing some things like providing free confidential business counseling, some training, as well as research, and helping entrepreneurs turn their ideas into successful ventures. Joining me now to share more about how the Bronx SBDC is supporting small business owners is Vanessa Joseph, who's the Regional Director of the Bronx SBDC. And Vanessa, good to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Good to see you. You're close by, and glad to have you sitting right here.
Yeah, you're speaking my favorite topic, small business.
That's it. So let's talk about this for a minute, because as we know, small business is the lifeblood. Mm-hmm. It's the lifeblood of America, and really right here in our borough, New York City. And so what's it been like for you in terms of helping small businesses right now navigate this little challenging time, because a lot of them are, in challenging times. So take it away.
Yeah, I can say, for me personally, it's an exhilarating feeling to be able to support someone else's dreams and their goals, and not even that, going beyond of them trying to build their legacies, which is generational changing, right? Leaving their footprint on the community, right? And in the sphere of business, and making something matter.
So talk a little bit about the work that you do in terms of helping businesses become transformed, if you will.
Yeah, so we, like you said earlier, we provide at no cost one-on-one business advising to anyone looking to start, whether you're in the ideation stage, you're just newly formed, or you're an existing business. And you could come to us and we cover everything from A to Z on topics that are impactful or concerning to you to help you nurture, develop, and grow and expand your business.
What are you seeing nowadays? Because as we see the economy and things are, tight for so many different people, a lot of people are like leaning in and saying, listen, I'm going to start my own, right? Are you seeing more people come across your doors?
Yeah, I mean, it's expounded since the pandemic,
right.
Where people had that opportunity to kind of pivot and explore other avenues besides working their career jobs, to see what more they can do as a means to earn income, as a means to have flexibility and freedom of their time, right, and really be in control of something that they started. And where we are today, that drive, that enthusiasm for small business, for entrepreneurship, is still here today. So there's a lot of support that's still needed to help small business owners go from one stage to the other.
How do you make that differentiation in terms of services for the person that's trying to start something and the person that's already got something that's really trying to grow? Talk about how you service both of those groups.
Yeah, so for those that are looking to start, it's about the education and filling in those gaps of what it takes to own, operate, and manage a business. Because you could have a fantastic idea, but do you know how to do your bookkeeping? Right? No one likes record keeping. Do you know how to prepare for financing? Right? And when you're talking about businesses that already existed, now they're in a more mature stage, right? Now you want to support them so they're able to last, and also think about succession planning. What's the next step? How long am I going to hold this business for? Am I going to leave it to family, or am I going to put it on the market for sale?
Yeah. I know the huge question that everybody always talks about when they have a small business is about funding, right? Access to funding, whether it's capital.
You can't have one without the other.
Right, whether it's capital, whether it's operational, whatever the case may be. How do you guide that part?
Yeah, well, first we talk about where the business owner is, what the needs are, because sometimes that's not clear when they come to us. Sometimes you think you're coming in and you're like, I need $50,000 because I need to buy new equipment to start, but then we dive deeper, right? We want to also explore and see, what about an operational budget, right? Your working capital, is there enough there to sustain? Because we know businesses flow ebbs and flows, it goes up, it goes down, right? And a lot of things that affect it. So we want to make sure that after you meet with us, you are able to be self-sustainable with funding to take you, because opportunity comes like that overnight. Right. And if the opportunity is on there, we want you to be prepared for it. So it's a different conversation from when you're starting off to when you're much more mature and longer in business.
You're talking a little bit about something that that you pretty much excel at, which is counseling, right?
Yes.
And really giving people that counseling and advice. What do you find yourself counseling people most about these days?
Number one topic is always about funding. So that's the number one topic. You know, another space that has exploded, of course, is e-commerce. So that's an area that we want to educate our clients on, and being ready to sell their, their products and stuff through an e-commerce platform on there. So that's one. And of course, the formation. Right, because we have a lot of startups and people wanting to venture in this space. So that's another number one big topic there.
I'm sure you see with all the people that come through your doors, people who have adverse challenges, right? What are some of the most common challenges or even mistakes that people are making as they come through the door to come see you?
Yeah, seeking capital before they're actually ready.
No plan.
No plan. They just know that I don't have money.
Just be honest, you don't have no plan. Why are you coming for the money?
I have this wonderful idea, but it's like, where do I go next? And I need money first.
Right.
But first you need to prove your idea and your concept. And that's something we want our business owners to do, because we don't want you making that huge investment, right? Or going into debt to fund a business that you haven't proven yet that you can sustain. right? And of course, it varies by industry depending on where you are. But the number one reason is that, or then when we see they're in business, sometimes they prolong and delay or don't file their tax returns. Right? We're in tax season.
Right.
And when they come to us, that's not done yet. They have no idea about what's their revenues year over year. And so we'll ask, what was your revenues from last year, so we can get an idea of if you've been profitable or not. And they don't know that number. So the number one mistake most businesses do is not knowing their numbers.
Right. And if you don't know your number, you really pretty much don't know your business.
You're guessing.
Right.
And we want our entrepreneurs to make informed decisions. Right? Not just looking at the problem that's in front of them, but thinking about how the problem that you're facing now affects you in the present, what is going to be the impact in the future, and is there anything that you can learn from reflecting in the past?
Yeah. Talking with some people, I know we've talked to, BOEDC, Bronx Chamber of Commerce before. They always used to talk about how after COVID, that lack of resources is really available, is not there the way that it used to be, and how many businesses are actually struggling just because of that. Are you seeing people being able to recover post-pandemic, or is that struggle still real for a lot of people?
That struggle is still real for a lot of people in recovering, because during the pandemic, unfortunately, decimated a lot of businesses, right? There was a lot of help and support there to carry on, but post coming through pandemic, once that funding dried up, then we uncovered like a lot of issues within businesses, right? We go back to like bookkeeping, record keeping. Do you have enough sustainable income? Are you marketing yourself properly, right? So those issues were there before the pandemic, but became expounded post-pandemic. So that's affected. There's still a lot of resources available for small businesses, but in terms of, grant, where there was a lot of that going on during the pandemic, is of course not as available as today, but there's still many avenues for businesses to get funded.
And big shout out to you guys. You guys highlighted last week and celebrated last week for doing some great work. Talk about that.
Yeah, I do want to say that today we celebrate an SBDC Day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a day that we look forward to every year, where we're celebrating, the work that we do in supporting entrepreneurs and small business owners nationwide, right? But not only that, in New York State for us, it's SBDC Day.
Wow. And so the work that you're doing, obviously so vital, so empowering to so many people, because you're not just really helping people with business, you're actually, helping to transform somebody's life and somebody's career. As you look back over the work that you've done, tell me about, maybe real quickly, one success story that really sticks out in your head.
Yeah, I have like a few here for you, but I'll run through them really quickly. We have Babe Collective, which is the founder for Nicole Ramirez. It's an e-commerce industry, right? We were talking about that, and she launched last month in February and was able to now look to what's expanding, because she did really well there. And then we have Katie Knit Corp, right, who's looking at vegetable cashmere. So this is how innovative our business owners in them are. And then we have our business, Tabby AI Bookkeeping, right, where they're using AI for this. And we did a wonderful webinar with them last week to introduce it, because we got to make record keeping easier for our small businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. Vanessa, thank you so much. Now, if somebody wants to get some information, what are they doing now?
Yeah, first they can visit. We launched our new website. Today, so I just want to show that this. You just go to bronx.nysbdc.org, and you can book an appointment for that free advising and sit with one of our advisors to talk and discuss about your business.
All right, Vanessa, great to have you. So thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Yes, and I just want to quickly say that visit our TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn page at Bronx SBDC. Every Tuesday, we do Tuesday tips videos to help educate our businesses. So you'll often see myself and my team on those videos. It's fun, it's innovative, and we make the educational part of it interesting.
gotta go check it out. All right. So listen, I'm gonna get you over there. So listen, for more information, do me a favor, visit the website at bronx.nysbdc.org, and you can find out all the information. And of course, as you saw throughout the course of the segment, those social media pages lifted up. So listen, stick around. We've got more. We'll be right back right after this.
Sent from the future to save the past, heal the planet and make it last. We find solutions with knowledge slides. Venture forth, echo leaders unite. Echo leaders,
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with Bronxnet Community Media classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At Bronxnet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated Bronxnet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with Bronxnet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
And welcome back. The Alliance of Teatros Latinos, New York, NY, I should say, is bringing together some of the city's leading Latinx theater companies for Teatro Fest NYC 2026. Now, the festival features dozens of productions presented by 10 theater companies across the city, highlighting both new works and then some powerful stories from Latin American and Latino playwrights. One of the participating organizations is ID Studio Theater right here in the South Bronx, a company known for creating immersive and socially engaged performances that reflect the experiences of immigrant and Latino communities. And joining me now to tell us more about the festival and what to expect, we've got Sándie Luna, who is the Executive Director of ID Studio Theater. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you back again.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be back.
Good. So talk to us a little bit about the work that you're doing.
We are really, really excited because we are celebrating at ID Studio our 25th anniversary. Our company was founded in 2001 by our artistic director, Germán Jaramillo. And we are celebrating in style. This is the first year that we're part of the Alliance of Latino Theaters. And so now we're part of Teatro Fest, which is an incredible, magnificent festival showcasing the best of Latinx theater in our city.
Yeah, I talked a little bit earlier about collaboration and how collaboration is important, but what makes this collaboration, particularly, among Latinx theaters, so powerful?
Many things. So you want to talk about the political,
right.
the artistic.
Right.
I think in this time specifically, we all know this, we have to come together. La unidad hace la fuerza. Unity makes strength, makes force. And so coming together is really powerful because it shows how, first of all, we're not a monolith, but we have shared experiences. And so through that, we're able to support each other. And this coalition, we support share resources, nurture leadership, and we are out here saying, together as a loud voice, we're thriving culturally. Right. And even though there is erasure happening at the cultural level as a form of tactic, a strategy, we're saying we're not going to let it happen.
Right. Voice and vision is what I think about, right? I think that as this collaboration comes together, there's this collective voice.
Yeah.
Right? And then vision, like we see you. Right?
Yes.
You're being seen.
Yes.
How important is that now? Because right now we know that there's this erasure that's taking place, but this gives an opportunity for both to take part.
Yeah, it can almost sound cliche to say now more than ever.
Right.
But it's really real. It's really real. Our communities are really vulnerable right now. And so to have places where you can go in, and I should say that the 10 companies that are part of this coalition each have their venue, some of them more than one venue. So to know that our communities and other communities can step into a place where they will not be seen as a problem to be solved, as something to get rid of, but as something to be celebrated, as something to be uplifted and to be validated. I mean, that's what every human longs for, validation, right? And so we're doing that at an organizational level through art, saying to our people, yes, we see you, you exist. And if you look at movements throughout history, art has always been part of that, whether explicitly or not.
So when I think about the festival, I know that there's some particular highlights, right? There's migration as a highlight. There's identity as a highlight. There's even justice, right? And so these forces are really coming together and really, out there. But theater is really the foundation for where this is coming forward. Talk about that for a moment and how the festival really brings that to light.
Yeah, so performance, because we have sort of more classical theater, we have more innovative theater, we have puppetry, we have dance, we have several forms of dance. We have theater in Spanish, we have theater in English, we have theater that is bilingual. So yes, it's all coming through. There's a lot of different themes, but they're all coming through performance. The themes don't necessarily, thematically, we're not necessarily following one vein, but it's like a body that's full of all these veins that have different purposes, right? So the cultural body of our coalition and of our people is sort of like coursing through this festival.
So for the festival, people who may not be so familiar, walk us through when, where, how.
Yes, we launched February 27th at the Public Library in Lincoln Center, and we are going to through the end of April. And so it's everywhere. There's 10 of us, and you can find us in Queens, you can find us in Manhattan, and right here in the Bronx, there's ID Studios, and there's also Pregones. So yeah, so there's a lot. There's over 24 productions happening. And I can say there's some highlights on our end. We just closed Arsenio, which was about the man that made salsa music possible right here in the South Bronx. Most people don't know his story.
Right.
He died without getting his flowers. And so through the show we just finished, we just closed, we gave him his flowers. We continue to give him his flowers. And now we're moving on to Petra, which is a show about a toxic relationship of sorts, but it's about a woman who is trying to find herself. She comes back home after the death of her father, and she takes a job at a juvenile detention center. And even though that's not the centerpiece, the piece shows us how structural violence seeps into the personal. I should say I'm Petra.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting piece for anybody who has ever been with the wrong person for the wrong reasons. And it takes them a while to realize. But it's also a piece about grief, about loneliness, and something really powerful is that Petra goes through this journey, and folks who come to see the show literally go on a journey in our theater. They start on the basement floor space, and then they travel with each act through the house, and sort of through the emotional body, what Petra goes through, they're also moving through. And the play deals, like I said, with grief, depression, loneliness, and we have a pandemic of loneliness in this country. And so after the show, Petra cooks, which is important. And after the show, the audience will stay. We will offer some bites, some drinks, and we stay and create more community.
Right.
So it's a lovely experience, and I think all of us in the coalition understand that what we do, it's not just the curtain goes up, the curtain goes down, but a lot of the theaters that are part of this coalition provide services, and we operate in a way that is culturally sensitive.
Right.
Our people like to eat and drink and talk.
Mhm.
So after the show, we provide a space to do that.
Let me add into here because I know part of Petra deals with also the Spofford Juvenile
Mhm.
Detention Center. It's a place that I'm familiar with. No, actually, well, I am familiar with that. I play basketball there. I feel like that. So
Okay,
they
okay.
invited us in to play against, back then,
Yeah.
those were in Spofford. But talk to us a little bit about how that connects to Petra.
Yeah, so the show, we were really interested in the history of the Spofford Juvenile Detention Center because it was a horrific place, and it's a complicated history. And we have a partnership, and we work with Inspiration Point, which is a wonderful arts organization that is now where the Spofford Juvenile Detention Center was. And so we were interested in understanding and maybe creating something that dealt with that history. But through research, we discovered it wasn't our story to tell, which is something really important to know, the boundaries of what really is, what you really can do authentically and do it justice. And it didn't feel right to do that the more research and the more we talked to folks from the community. But this wonderful Colombian playwright who's based in Berlin did a residency with us, and he ended up writing Petra. And that was the starting point, that was the seed, and what it became was the story of a woman from New York who comes back and decides to stay, because why wouldn't she come back to New York?
Right.
and she's trying to find her way in the world, and she wants to make a difference, and she ends up taking a job at a juvenile detention center. And so what we see is the impact of that and what that does to her mental health, and how it compounds to her already existing trauma. So again, it's not directly related to Spofford, but it's exploring, like I said before, how structural violence has sort of taints everything and sort of has this ability to seep into the personal.
Yeah, I got 30 seconds. How do I get connected?
Latino Theaters NY, please everybody, Latino Theaters NY. There's shows for everybody, all kinds of show and all kinds of prices. And a lot of us, it's important to say, we offer low or free tickets. So please don't let that be the reason you don't come. I think it's important that our people know that theater is for them, that there is a space that will welcome them, and that there's art out there that truly represents them.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Thank you so much for
And
having me.
best wishes as this goes forward.
Yes, I hope everybody comes.
Yes, gotta come. All right, now listen, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at idstudio.com. If you want more information about the festival, visit latinotheatersny.com, and you'll get all the information that you need. Come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us. Most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast right here on Optimus Channel 67, Verizon Files Channel 2133, or watch us anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. You can, of course, catch a brand new episode of Open with Rena Valentine on Friday. This wraps up this episode for us today. I am Darren Hyman saying, listen, make sure you keep this channel wide open. We want you to take care. God bless, and we'll see you soon.